This storm will kill you.
Look! I'm telling you! You know what I mean,
But
folks?
if rich people aren't looking out for us, who is?
It makes no difference which one of us you vote for. Either way, your planet is doomed.
You're listening to the Our Take Podcast with Brian Sherman.
He had a full head, all the way till the end. It was white, and I was hoping to get that. I was hoping to get, the full head, and it was really hard to cut it off.
And Spencer Rogers.
To be a good pilot, you have to be able to make good decisions. And I know what my credit score is, so I know I don't make good decisions.
This is the Our Take Podcast.
From Scary Parrot Media Studios in Ogden, Utah, it's the Our Take Podcast, episode 141. I'm Brian.
I am Spencer.
Welcome back to the show, everybody, after a brief, indefinite hiatus. We're back. We were never planning to go anywhere. It's just,
Yeah, what the hell happened?
shit happens, man.
Really, though? I mean, well, you know what? You're right. September.
9/11.
Oh, that reminds me. Our last show, we had a show at the Rise in Provo. That was forever ago.
For the band, Rejected Takeoff.
Right, but
Yes.
remember we were in the back talking to that band of probably 18 to 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
And we asked them, their name was Recently Decent, and we asked them how they came up with their name, and they were like, well, we were going to name ourselves the Twin Towers. I mean, no, not the Twin Towers, the Two Towers, like from
Towers.
Lord of the Rings. And I was just like, damn, that actually
It's
would
not
be
bad.
a great name.
It's
And
not
I
bad.
just think, I know there's probably New York, there's 8 million people in New York.
Right.
And I know there's probably a band there that,
yeah.
3 days before they ordered T-shirts for their new band, the Twin Towers.
It's like,
$500 worth of T-shirts, and they're just like, damn it.
yeah, dude. It was like when I was working at AT&T. You remember the first mobile wallet?
ISIS.
I called ISIS,
ISIS.
dude. We had ISIS T-shirts.
We had it all over
Yeah.
Smith's.
I
And
had-
then a few months later, it was like ISIS invade. Like, oh,
I had
man.
a full-on purple, like Utah Jazz purple tracksuit with ISIS logos on it.
should break that out. Wear it.
The guy that would like the
The looks you would get now.
what the fuck?
Like,
Yeah.
is that guy wearing something that says ISIS?
I remember the product rep came in once and he's like, I represent ISIS, not to be confused with the terror organization. Oh, it was good.
I
Anyway,
represent ISIS.
death to infidels.
That poor CEO is just like,
Fuck, we spent like $10 million branding this shit.
and now they're out of business.
Yeah. And
it's
ISIS
probably
doesn't
that.
even call themselves
I
ISIS.
know. It was something we made up.
Yeah. Well, it's November the 5th, everybody. On this day in history, China's first lunar satellite enters lunar orbit. The Chang'e-1, an unmanned lunar orbiting spacecraft,
Sounds
sent
racist.
the first pictures of the moon on November 26th. Can you guess the year?
1967.
China's first lunar satellite enters lunar orbit 2007.
Oh, my bad.
Once again, leading down the conspiracy rabbit hole
Ugh.
that we that we never went. Speaking of which, they got to be getting close to Artemis 2, right?
Probably.
Next summer, where they're launching
The manned one?
the manned crew to orbit.
The one that doesn't get to land on the moon yet has to spend all the time
Oh
in the
man,
capsule.
the worst crew to be on. I'd rather not
I
be
know.
an astronaut.
They were on Colbert and they were all excited, and I'm like, in their heart, they're probably like,
Yeah, they're like, fuck Neil Armstrong.
we're probably gonna die, and we don't get to land on the moon.
Right. 'Cause if they're doing the same orbit, the same trajectory as Artemis 1, they will break records. That the Artemis
Oh no, they are gonna be.
Yeah.
They did say that they'll be
the highest
farthest,
altitude.
the farthest away
Yeah.
any person's ever been before.
Any human being, yeah. So which the Artemis 3 crew will not get to say. They just get to land on the moon and walk around. You know.
It says the launch is no earlier than November 2024.
Okay, so we're looking at a 2026
What
launch.
the hell takes so long?
I don't know.
Like,
man.
what is like? I don't understand.
It's that one. There's one
they did
guy.
They did it once, and like, what
I know.
does it? You have to refuel it. It takes that long to refuel.
Well, I mean, it went from Apollo 1, the launch pad fire, to 11, them walking on the moon in like a year and a half.
I mean, we can land and turn around like millions of airplanes every day, but it takes over a year to reload and relaunch a rocket.
Speaking of rockets, I saw a clip of SpaceX abort landing,
Mm-hmm.
not a landing. The abort stage that's at the top of a rocket.
Oh yeah.
They were just testing that for like a launch pad failure,
Mhm.
right? If the rocket below them starts to explode, that abort phase will throw them up into the atmosphere. I don't know what the G-force is on that thing, but it looked like an animation. Like those guys, they'd be dead. They'd be dead anyway, just from it was so fast.
Yeah, and I mean, can you do it when you're going 11,000 miles per hour? Like, what would happen to you?
I don't know.
It'd be like that TV show,
Like they would just be puddles.
you know,
in the bottom of the
space
spacecraft.
one where they have the books that you read. You know what I'm talking about? You
Oh,
know,
The Expanse.
The Expanse, where they gotta take the juice and
The
stuff
gel,
to,
yes.
To otherwise it just
Right.
splat.
It's true.
It's a lot of G's.
It's so much G's.
G's.
Much G's? Many G's. So many G's.
So many.
It's really fast, really quick. So yeah, November.
Oh yeah, there's a Canadian
That's
on
not
this
gonna
trip.
That's not going to happen though. It's going to be at least
Oh,
20.
yeah.
At
They're gonna-
least late 2025.
Probably. It'll get scrubbed like 19 times. and
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I'll go
I
back
feel like we
for
should be so much further along than that.
I might go to a launch. I would maybe consider going to Artemis 3.
I don't know.
Depending
so
on how
burnt out on our last experience.
depending on how Artemis 2 goes. If it goes smoothly on the first attempt, then okay, maybe they've got their act together. If not, then maybe 4 or 5.
I mean, if I was gonna go, I'd plan it, to be there on the day of, and then the next week.
Right. Yeah, you got to take the whole. But even then, we wouldn't have. Right?
I think we could have caught the second one had we waited one more day.
But they still didn't launch
no,
them.
no,
right,
of
right,
course
right.
not.
Yeah.
It was like, remember they had to roll it back like twice.
Oh yeah, because a hurricane was coming in. Yeah.
Well, the first time they rolled it back was because they were like, well, we don't know what the hell's going on. And then they put it back, and they're like, oh, that hurricane, we got to put it back.
Yeah,
You can roll it back
so
again.
it's the hurricane, not the fact that we still have holes in the fuselage. Yeah.
That's so weird to me. But whatever. I'm not an ethologist.
Yeah.
I'm not a
I'm not a geologist.
I'm not a dentist. I don't freaking know.
Oh man.
Oh man, so much has happened since our last episode in all of my life.
It really is weird how much happens, and I think it's just. I don't. Do you think more is actually happening in the world right now, or is it just that we're so aware of everything that happens?
Oh, I definitely think it. In fact, I watched a historian talk about this the other day, and how we're just
and historian.
What did I say?
And
historian. How it's just that we know we're much more aware of everything now.
Okay,
And
so
because of the news cycle, because of social media.
I mean, just because looking at everything we put in our.
I've watched several videos about how right now is actually the best time to have ever lived in the world.
Oh, for sure.
And
at least in the first world,
everything
Yeah.
is going down around the world except suicide is going down everywhere in the world except here.
Except for the United States, yeah, and especially Utah. Yeah, I think there's no doubt about it that in the first world, no better time to live
right
in the history of the world, for sure. Mm-hmm. But still seems like a lot. Like I can't even list off everything. Like we have like in our rundown here, like different things that have happened since we've been last on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just really weird how much.
Yeah, I mean, there's been like 3 wars started, and
Yeah.
I had a camera put in my butt.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Okay.
Let's not talk about the war yet.
No.
Let's just
we don't want to talk about the Jews anyway. Yeah, man, I can't believe it's been this long because I did this back in I want to say September, like the first or second week in September.
The camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've long since shitted out.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been having some stomach issues.
Yeah.
Like, so it's kind of seems to have resolved itself for now at least.
Well, when they put the camera in there, they kind of scrub.
Well, it's like a street sweeper.
Yeah.
essentially.
We may not find anything, but we'll clean it out.
So yeah, I went to a buttologist,
Mm-hmm.
gastrobuttologist. I don't remember whatever they're called.
Gastroenterologist.
Yeah, and he's like, "Hey man, I don't know. You seem like maybe you just need to take some more Miralax, but what the hell? Let's do a
Not realizing that you're already down in a couple bottles a day.
yeah." I know. That's what every time I go to the doctor, they're just like, "Oh, you're constipated? Have you tried Metamucil?" I'm like,
I
"Have you tried Miralax?"
single-handedly am keeping
Yeah. Have I tried it? I have it like on the hour, every hour.
Right.
Like,
I do it with my cocaine.
yeah, I snort it.
How are you?
Are you not supposed to snort it? But anyway, I went and they decided let's do a colonoscopy to make sure that nothing's that wasn't it was also a not an MRI, a CAT scan.
Yes.
I did that too to make sure my prostate wasn't exploded and everything was fine.
Did you have to drink the contrast?
Yeah, so
yeah.
okay, so here's what happened for the CAT scan. I had to drink 2 bottles of what appeared to be horse semen.
Right.
Like, seriously.
Right.
If I can find a picture. I have the picture somewhere. I can put it somewhere. But it's 2 huge bottles of
Horse semen.
well, it's horse semen.
Right.
And apparently it illuminates your body or
Yeah,
something, your
it's-
stomach. I don't know.
It's been deactivated.
Yeah.
Like it couldn't get you pregnant. But it's inert.
It's sterile. They radiate it. I could become like Horseman, kind
Right.
of like Spider-Man.
Like a
but that's
chimera.
only if it gets into my bloodstream.
Which is why they tell you if you have any open sores.
Yeah, don't rub.
Don't spill, don't
rub.
rub.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the bottle.
So I had to. So I went to get the. Well, I had to drink these 2 bottles like an hour before.
Right.
Like throughout the day, and I get there and they put you in the tube, and luckily it's nothing like it's not like a CAT scan where you're cramped in a. It's just a really quick.
Like an MRI, you mean?
Sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like an MRI. It's
No.
really fast and everything. So, they do put an
An IV.
an IV in you, and they're like, "Hey, just so you know, you're gonna feel like you peed your pants. We're gonna put this stuff in you. It's gonna make you warm all
Right.
over,
Right.
and you're gonna feel like you peed your pants." And I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, and so they do like 2 test runs. We're gonna do 2 tests and then the real one. So it's like it counts down and the machine moves me forward and backward. And they're like, "Hey, here we go." And I can't it's crazy how fast the bloodstream works, right?
Yeah.
Because it hits and it's just like instantly you can feel it go through your whole body.
Right.
And yeah, it does kind of feel like you peed your pants.
So you raised your hand. You're like, is it supposed to make you feel like you came?
Well, I already came.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, you were refracting.
something about the tubes and everything. Just IVs really get me going. But so I'm in there getting it. It only takes like 5 seconds. It's not very long. But my stomach is kind of going. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I think I'm gonna barf. And I'm just sitting there like, come on,
Oh.
please. And then it backs me out, and she comes in and she's like, "You feeling okay?" And I said, "I think I'm gonna barf." And she hands me a bag, and I freaking blow all 2 liters of horse semen into the bag.
Are you serious? I mean, she came prepped with a bag.
Well, they have them in there. They're just like weird barf bags.
Right.
And I filled like 2 of them up.
That's crazy.
And the whole time I'm just like, I'm sorry. She's like, "It's okay, honey. It happens all the time."
Behind you, she's like waving for help. Like, hurry! Somebody come in here. Call the code. Somebody call the code.
It's so much.
She's like, did you drink all of that?
You were only supposed to drink a capful.
We just send extra. We assume you're gonna spill, so it's like Pepto.
Oh man.
Oh,
Anyway, that's how I
hilarious.
became Horseman, and I can shoot webs from my hands or something. I don't know.
You're producing glue.
Yeah. And I can run really fast on all 4s and carry fat guys on my back. But
Well,
anyway,
Speaking of medical experiences, I'll give you an update
yeah.
to my emotional and mental well-being.
Oh yeah.
I told you a little bit about this, but one thing I didn't mention. So I went to the doctor because I was still feeling shitty,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to try a new cocktail. I thought maybe I was on too much meds that were affecting serotonin too much because I was like sweaty and anyway, long story. So I go in there and she prescribes me a new antidepressant. I was on Prozac.
Right.
And she prescribed me Cymbalta. And I have to wean off the Prozac first.
Right.
Right? And I'm also on a drug called buspirone for anxiety, which is also a serotonin drug. And so as I'm weaning off the Prozac, I've also started taking magnesium and vitamin D just as an experiment. I saw someone, I think on TikTok, saying like it helped my anxiety. I'm like, well, whatever. It's just a supplement, so I'll try it. So I'm like, well, I kind of want to cleanse my body of these two drugs before I start a new one. And buspirone I was taking twice a day for anxiety and Prozac once a day, obviously. And so I weaned off and I stopped taking buspirone. I just felt like I didn't need it, right? And now it's been, I don't even know how long, a month and a half or so. Still haven't started Cymbalta. I haven't taken any buspirone for anxiety in this time. I don't know what happened. The only variable that changed was I had started taking magnesium like a few weeks before that. So
what if this whole time you just needed a little
I
extra
just needed
vitamin D
magnesium.
and magnesium?
Yeah. So if you struggle with anxiety or depression, give it a shot. I'm not saying that.
That's interesting. I mean, who knows? It's all.
So I'm still on a drug called Lamictal. It's like a mood stabilizer.
Oh, okay.
You know? And a drug called guanfacine that's supposed to help with anxiety a little bit. Mostly she asked me to stay on it because it made my blood pressure go down. So she's like, even if it's not having an emotional therapeutic effect, like just do that. So anyway.
Fascinating.
I don't know. I don't get it. But I feel a lot better right now lately.
Yeah, I it's not similar, but I got off sertraline. I guess I got off on that a while ago.
Yeah.
Off of it, not off on it.
I got off on it.
That's definitely not what happens with antidepressants. And then I started something called Prestique, which works differently than an SSRI.
Right.
And Vyvanse, both that, which is an ADD medication. And I started both of those, and September, things have changed a lot for me. I've been feeling really good lately.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's working or if I just have had a really good few months. Because when I started seeing my therapist, my biggest complaint was I'm bored and I feel like I don't have things to do. I'm just sitting around like depressed all the time, and I don't know. And so we're like, well, let's try this medication, see what happens. And then September, I had something every weekend.
Yeah.
Like we went to the cabin. I went to monster trucks with my nephew. What else?
We went to a concert.
We went to a concert where I met a girl, and now I'm dating someone.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if it's a combination of the medication or having a good September and now having a girlfriend.
I don't know.
Or so I'm like, do I need this medication? Like,
I guess there is one other variable. We've been recording this show less.
That is true.
Because I'm the exact opposite of you. I have way too much going on.
Right.
So I have a normal job. I own a vending machine business where we got to, between my dad helps out a lot. So between my dad and I, we're always filling vending machines. I started a business with Randy he's super busy, which is fantastic.
Right.
So every once in a while I have to, go help him out.
Throw him a bone.
Have a family. So it's like I'm the opposite of you, where it was like I don't have any real free time, and then one day a week we're practicing with the band. So anyway,
yeah.
So between Spencer and I, if you are struggling, maybe you can don't be afraid to talk to your doctor. Try something different.
If this Prestique is working, and again it works differently than SSRI. I can't remember exactly. But it's not less serotonin or something? I can't remember.
It works on norepinephrine, if I'm not mistaken.
But what's really a bummer is I spent 5 years on sertraline, kind of just feeling not depressed, but just kind of shit, just in the middle.
Yeah, don't be like you.
I wish I would have thought to.
Yeah, you definitely have to give drugs a trial period, like
Right.
at least 8 weeks, 12 weeks. But don't be afraid to try something different. The only thing I'll say is don't ever quit cold turkey on anything.
No, that could be problematic, especially on antidepressants.
But man, if you've been anxious, try it's magnesium glycinate and vitamin D. You get both of them on Amazon. It took me if that's what helped. It took maybe 8 weeks of taking that every day to make it so I don't take. I mean, I haven't taken. I should say I have taken something for anxiety if it was Buspar or Klonopin for the last 6 years
right.
every day. So it's remarkable that I haven't taken anything in 90 days or so. It's really strange. But I'm happy about it. I'd rather not have to take anything.
Right.
So.
And you're not feeling super anxious?
No, that's what's it. Like I would easily, if I was feeling anxious, I would easily take another Buspar. I'm not afraid to take it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I hate anxiety is absolutely the worst emotion. I'd rather be depressed. I'd rather be anything than feeling anxious.
Usually they are almost equally comorbid with me, right?
Right.
Like I generally have them. It's like anxiety makes me depressed and depression makes me anxious. It's a
I don't.
It's a cycle.
I don't
for
really.
me.
It's either. It's not one or the other, but it's
Yeah.
definitely. They're not. Like when I'm anxious, it's normally about something. I guess.
Sure.
And I having just started dating someone for the first time in 6 years, I'm realizing that I might be more damaged in a lot of areas
Yeah.
than I realized because I haven't been in anything since I was divorced.
The amount of listeners we're going to lose now that you're off the market. Like we may as well not even do this anymore.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, you're probably right.
You know, we get emails.
People are like, "Is that 38-year-old fat bald guy? Like, where does his number and how can I get in his pants immediately?"
Like the amount of emails I get and text messages I feel. I don't know how they get my number.
Well, I give it out.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't even. I got a camera in my butt. We didn't even finish talking about that.
Oh, I thought we were done because we moved to my med situation.
No.
But go ahead. Yeah.
We talked about the CAT scan.
Okay.
And then, anyway, so after the CAT scan, I get the colonoscopy, which most people don't have to get until they're like 40 something.
Right.
And that was an experience.
Yeah.
The night before.
Because they give you the shit drug.
And what I don't understand is
you got to clean it out.
Right. So my appointment was first thing in the morning because I'm diabetic, so they get you in right away because you're not supposed to eat. You have to have a liquid diet the day before, which really sucked.
Right.
And then they have you take the poop your brains out medicines.
Right.
But what I don't understand is they tell you to start it at like 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, so you shit all night?
Right.
Probably so because because people get so weak without eating and having if you poop out all your shit,
I guess. I don't.
you know,
But
you got no energy. You've got nothing. You're depleted. You're gonna.
but we don't use the poop. Poop is an energy.
Well, it is before it. I don't know. I don't know
know.
how it works.
I don't know.
But as it moves through your
I just
digestive
didn't get any
system,
sleep because every 5 seconds
Right.
I had, and then my anus was so sore.
You got to get nicer toilet paper.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
So for those of you in the future that are about to get a colonoscopy, make sure you get some of the wet, guy
Sure.
dude wipes.
Don't flush them. You'll create a fatberg,
Yeah,
which we've talked about
or
at
whatever.
length. But don't skimp on the TP. The couple days before.
Yeah, but I mean, what?
Get some nice 3-ply.
Charmin claims to be, their whole thing is no dingleberries.
Nah.
All right, that's their whole thing,
Yeah.
right? They have the bears, and they're like, "Look how clean my bear ass is."
Right.
I've never had more problems than with Charmin, and it's because it's too soft. It's too soft,
Yeah.
and
you need a little friction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
100% you
Oh.
get what you pay for with toilet paper.
Oh, for sure. Anyway, so I got my butt scoped with a giant camera.
Well, it's
and
a small camera, but
I don't
yeah.
know, man. It looked way bigger than I thought it would be. It was like this.
It's like a
It
camcorder.
was like this big around. You're gonna shove That in me, huh? Okay.
Need you to bear down.
I personally was totally willing to stay awake during the whole thing and watch, and but they were like, "No, we're gonna put you to sleep."
Any way you could warm that thing up?
And I don't. Have you been under anesthesia before?
No.
It's so weird. It's because you go to it's you. This is my second time, but the first time I was like 13 or something. So I don't remember, but it just happens so fast. Like the doctor tells you you're gonna feel something, and then you just like kind of like, oh, and then you say something like, "I'm really fucked up, man," and then you're just gone.
Yeah.
And then you wake up, and when you go to sleep at night, even though you're not really aware of what happened, there's still like this sense of the passage of time.
Yeah.
But when you wake up from anesthesia, it's like instant.
Yeah.
It's like,
Did you guys do it?
yeah, basically. The only reason you know that they did is because you're in a different room.
Right.
And
your anus is a little sore.
yeah, definitely. And you're so groggy when you wake up. Like, so I had this nice older nurse, and she tried to put my IV in my right hand because my veins suck, and she saw veins, but she screwed up. She missed it, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "Oh, it's fine. It happens all the time. No big deal." And she put it in the other hand. And then when I get to the back into the recovery, the nurse is like, "Oh, what happened on your right hand?" And I'm like, "The other nurse fucked up."
Oh, yeah. She's over there crying.
Yeah. Oh, but there was nothing in my butt at all. It was squeaky clean.
Yeah.
Did I show you the picture? I showed a lot
Yeah,
of people the
unfortunately,
picture.
you sent it to me.
I sent it to so many people.
Yeah, I was eating lunch.
Well, it should have been fine because there was nothing in there. It was squeaky clean. I
Well-
spent the whole night before cleaning it.
With your finger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were supposed to do that.
Anyway. Oh, speaking of mental health,
Yeah.
at the current therapist that I go to, in the waiting room, they always have Bob Ross on.
I know that waiting room.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tanner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, Bob Ross is pretty freaking relaxing.
Oh, dude, for sure.
Not only that, he makes painting seem so easy.
Right.
And I just...
That's what made him great, because most time you watch an artist that makes it look easy, you get pissed.
Right.
You know? But no, he doesn't. He's like, doesn't matter if you mess up.
Yeah. Just put this happy little tree right here, man.
Right.
It's cool.
Yeah. Like you could sneeze
Do you
on it,
think
and
he
he'd be
was,
like, "That's all right."
Super high, like all the time. Because apparently he was like a crazy
He was kind
hippie
of a
womanizer kind of dude.
He was kind of a perfectionist too. For each episode, he painted 3 paintings.
Oh, really?
He painted a practice one, the one for the episode, and then a third perfected one.
Oh.
So each episode, there's 3. So his collection, the Bob Ross is like massive.
Do they sell for a lot?
Yeah,
There's got to be a lot of them out there.
there are a lot of them out there, but they do sell for a lot.
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
A Bob Ross.
Oh, I love a
painting.
Bob
That'd be
Ross.
cool.
Speaking of Bob Ross, Ethan's grandpa
Yeah.
is painting.
Is Bob Ross?
He is. He's been painting more. He's older, and Ethan put some in his office.
Oh,
I
really?
went there because I have a throat infection, so I went to see Ethan again. And I was like, "Who painted these?" He had 3 hanging up. He's like,
Uh-huh.
"My grandpa." I'm like, "I'd buy one of those
Yeah.
for sure."
My grandpa also painted in watercolors. I have access to several paintings, but I'm waiting for me to have a place where birds won't poop on them.
Yeah. I have a few Dannies. you
Oh
know.
yeah, for sure.
I got a few Dannies in my house.
But I mean, that's Danny. He's not old, so
No, he's not old, but they are magnificent
no, he's
paintings.
really good. He's
Yeah.
really good.
That's Danny Warner, by the way. You can, I think he has a lot of his paintings on Facebook and
Does
stuff.
he?
Yeah. If you need a painting, commission the Warner.
So I was on Facebook the other day, and I like Star Trek,
A little bit.
and I guess there's a whole contingent of Star Trek fans that don't like the newer Star Trek stuff
Well,
because
I didn't know that, but I definitely could have guessed.
they say it's too woke.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And
Come on.
I'm over here like the whole
The whole premise
point of Star Trek is woke.
is equality
I
for
mean,
all.
Star Trek has been woke since before woke was even a
Right.
word. I mean, it was the first interracial kiss on television was
Right.
between Shatner and what's her name? But I was just like, what?
Well,
What
first
are you
of all,
talking about? It's too woke.
that group could only exist on Facebook.
I guess
You know,
it's because is it because there's like
Or-
gay people?
or Truth Social.
Well, I do love True Social. It's my new hub ever since Twitter turned to.
Every new generation of a story gets hated on, and then what I'm finding out though, so the episode 1, 2, 3 of Star Wars
Right.
was insanely hated when it came out.
Oh yeah, but now it's like a
But
thing.
all the kids who grew up with that one are like, it's the best ever.
right.
You know, and
It's
fuck
true.
the original trilogy.
It's true.
You know,
No, that is true.
so all the kids who are watching Star Trek now, 20 years from now, are gonna love this.
Oh, for sure.
This
For
one
sure.
more. So
It just bothered me because it's like you're missing the point. Like,
Right.
why are you watching Star Trek? Maybe you're a Star Wars guy.
maybe you're a Battlestar
Like
guy.
the whole point of Star Trek is that we live in a utopia and everyone is happy, and we're so happy that we've developed ways to go explore the galaxy
right.
and become unhappy.
And I guess their charter is to not intervene.
well,
what-
that's the prime directive.
Prime
you know.
directive is to, but they always do
Sometimes
when they see an injustice.
I mean, not always, but it depends
Yeah.
on your captain.
Yeah.
You know, but there's a lot of that.
Right.
They do break it a lot and somehow don't get in trouble. So I don't
So
know.
is there complaint with the story or with
I think
the
it's
the
that
subplots?
there's a lot more. There's a lot of gay characters now, like a lot.
Yeah.
Like everyone's gay. No, I'm just kidding.
Like a representative sample of how many people are normally gay.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
That must be the biggest thing because seriously, Star Trek in the '90s was. I mean, it tackled known issues
Right.
in different stories. Like I can't think of an example right now, but that's what they did. I mean, and so it's just like what.
Yeah, if you're writing a show that doesn't connect to the zeitgeist, then it's not going to work.
I mean,
it's going to fail.
It's not that they. I don't feel like they were like, hey, we got to put a crap load of gay characters in here because I don't know, we have to do that now.
Right.
I don't think that's what happened. They're just like, well, you have gay characters because there's gay people, and
Right.
there's probably going to be more in the future because there's going to be more people. So
Right.
Huh.
All right.
and other cultures might be gay too. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
And there's a lot. Actually, there's not just there's a lot of like, I guess what you would call bi, but more. It's just like what's the word I'm looking for? Not bi, just kind of open to whatever.
Oh, just fluid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, yeah. And maybe it's 500 years in the future.
Like
Who
a
knows?
pan.
It could be.
Like pansexual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question about not pansexuals but polyamorous relationships.
Sure.
Now I don't have much experience with them, obviously,
Yeah.
because I have a hard time finding just one,
Right.
and the thought of having to work with two. But here's my thought, and I've encountered one recently, a relationship, and to me, this is just what I observed. It seems like two people are taking advantage of one person. And it seems like that would happen a lot.
In what respect? Go a little bit deeper
Here's
here.
what I think happened. Okay, and these people have no idea really who I am, so I'm not really worried about. It's just observations from a friend's friend.
Sure.
But it seems like a guy and a girl were together.
Okay.
Okay, and that girl might have been a lesbian, but she wasn't quite ready to accept it yet. But
So maybe she's bisexual.
yeah,
Okay.
and so she was like, "Hey, let's try the polyamorous thing with this other girl."
Right.
And now I think that they're okay admitting that they're lesbians,
Okay.
and that maybe they're just using this guy for money and stability.
Listen, that might definitely happen, right? But that is not.
I'm not saying I don't know one way or the other, but it just seems to me like
I mean,
that's one thing I just don't like. Polyamory, I don't really get. I don't really get
But that happens in monogamous relationships.
Well, that's true.
right.
No, that's true.
So it could certainly happen in a polyamorous relationship. I think that if you can have a truly polyamorous relationship, then you have somehow overcome some sort of jealousy in your mind.
It
you know?
just to me it seems like someone would always be getting screwed over. Like someone in the relationship would be getting the short end of a stick.
In what way? Give me an example.
The love, the care, the companionship, like it feels like I don't know, it just seems like it would be hard to do.
Yeah.
Like it seems like
I don't disagree.
I mean,
right? But it would it's this to me not understanding or not identifying with a polyamorous relationship is the same thing as not understanding or maybe not identifying with a gay relationship.
sure.
Right?
Sure.
So I mean, I try to think of specific examples, right? Like let's say you're wanting just to have a romantic night. You're watching a movie, maybe having a dinner, you know. In what respect would someone else feel slighted in that situation? You know, what would make it
you'd
hard?
have to be really careful to make sure that everyone got equal attention. And if someone didn't, then they would be slighted.
Well, they might, but I think that's
unless
that's
it
the
just
difference.
works out that way.
That's the difference. Is I think that in a true polyamorous relationship, you've overcome any sort of jealousy that might happen stemming from a desire for monogamy. I think that people could see their two partners talking or whatever, getting along, and not be jealous, but be happy. Like, I love that they're talking and love each other, and I'm here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's not something I have a lot of experience with. It just it seems that's what it just kind of like. I don't know if I don't
really have any desire for it, but I also don't have any desire to be gay, right? So
okay, okay, that's not what you've told me. Okay.
Well, with you, so I think I think it's very, very similar in that someone like me or you who can't really identify with it because it's not something you desire, but you can look at people and say, look, if it makes you happy, then awesome.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
But certainly I think that just as in a monogamous relationship, people can get taken advantage of all the time.
Right.
You know? So I don't think it's unique.
Yeah. So the other day, what was I doing? I don't remember. I put this on the rundown so long ago. I don't remember what led me to this. What does Area 51 and Utah's own Hill Air Force Base have in common?
They're both military installations.
Oh, that's true. Or well, here's what I found out. Okay. First of all, have you heard of Janet Airlines?
Is that like the airline that takes the people who work at Area 51 from Vegas?
So there's like 12 737s. They're
red stripe,
and they're white. And yeah, their call sign is Janet.
Yeah.
And they fly from McCarran, Las Vegas International to Mirror Lake, Area 51. And if you can actually track them all the way till they disappear right before.
Oh, really?
I guess they turn off their transponder or something right before they land. They're all registered in the state of Utah to Hill Air Force Base. All those 737s.
That's weird,
right?
For some reason, I thought Area 51 was an Air Force base as well.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh.
Well, I think. I guess we don't.
So they get like serviced in Utah?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I've never seen one. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they probably have their own hangar there at McCarran, but I just thought that was interesting. That
is weird.
That they're all registered here.
Yeah. Probably some pencil pusher.
And especially what's even more weird is that one of the bigger Air Force bases down there, Nellis, is right there.
Oh, it's right there outside of Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why? What's
that
weird.
All
about?
They're probably like, let the Utah taxpayers
probably
cover some of this. I want to know how often people leave there. You know? Like these people who are flying on Janet, is it a daily thing?
I think they
just live in Vegas.
Yeah, I think they just fly in and fly out every day.
Single day.
It's not a long flight.
No, but I mean,
it would just be
the
like
logistics of going through an airport and.
Well, they don't have to. They have their own.
They got their own thing.
They have their own thing, their own terminal.
Interesting.
But I mean, I hope they all get paid a ton because it seems like you would have to be to.
I mean, it would
do
make more sense that you'd fly to Area 51, work for 5 days, fly back.
Could be.
You know.
I doubt. I mean, with the amount of traffic that's probably every day. I mean, they do flights constantly. So I don't know.
Yeah. Got to bring in those alien bones.
I know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
See, that's something that happened since the last show,
What?
right? The aliens.
Has it?
I can't remember if that was.
Did we never talk about that?
Maybe it was on the last show.
Yeah, I think we did. How?
But the government admitted to.
Well, the government didn't admit.
No, the dude went to Congress.
That's what was. But everyone's like takeaway was that that aliens are real, but the government never admitted anything. Just some guy said he knew somebody who knew somebody.
That's true. So the government might not know if we're talking about the government as in legislators.
Right.
Yeah. But
Yeah, Matt Gates doesn't know.
somebody might know.
Speaking of, oh yeah. Well, real quick, did you hear Chris Christie rail this Republican festival? Not festival. What is it? Man, he just stuck it to him, man.
To all Republicans?
Well, the people that were booing him at this carnival.
Oh, really?
Well, I'm struggling for the right word.
A rally.
Here. Sure.
All I know about Chris Christie right now, and I know you're not a Republican, but I know you like him.
I kind of want to do him.
I think he's generally well spoken, and you know what I mean. He's a charismatic guy, I think.
Right.
But I have a problem with how much he backed Trump for 4 years, and now all of a sudden is like, nah, this fucker's going to jail.
But he stopped like halfway through his presidency. And
No. Chris Christie was there during the election shit, wasn't he?
No.
Hang on.
He's never claimed that Trump won. He's never been an election denier. And he was very critical of Trump during his presidency.
I swear I remember him on stage.
I think the best way to describe him was he liked Trump's policies but did not care for his horse-ishery.
Right.
States Republicans, earlier one of Trump's chief critics, scolded the audience after being booed for his opposition to the GOP frontrunner.
Yeah. Well, now it feels like home. Thank you all very much. Your anger against the truth is reprehensible. The problem is you want to shout down any voice that says anything different than what you want to hear.
Okay, let's discuss now with Vanity Fair special correspondent Molly John.
Doesn't work, man. It doesn't work to go up against him.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's just, I don't know.
I mean, I'm glad he did, but it just seals his fate.
Right.
You know, they're not. It's like when Hillary called them deplorables and stuff like that.
Right.
You
No,
know?
I know.
I think that
But yeah.
Pence dropped out, right?
Oh, yeah, he did.
So I don't know what's going to happen, because even if Trump goes to jail, he can run for president.
Right.
You know, unless the Congress can ever come together. There are 2 states, I want to say Colorado and I can't remember the other one. Nebraska, anyway, where it's moving through the courts. It's going to the Supreme Court in that state right now to say he is not allowed on the ballot because he participated in an insurrection, which is like the 14th Amendment or something.
Yeah. There's a couple.
So those are going to make their way through the courts. So it's possible before the election even happens that this will be a Supreme Court case.
Right.
That will then say, no, he actually can't. He can't. You know. But if they don't, or if the Supreme Court disagrees, he could run for president from jail because there's nothing on the books about that.
Right.
You know? But right now, on what it looks like is DeSantis is somehow going to become the nominee because he's in second place to Trump, who might not make it. So, I mean, it could create a primary toss-up, right? Because we don't know exactly who all the hardcore Trumpers would vote for in a primary if they couldn't vote for Trump. Right. Would they just not vote? Or would they vote for DeSantis or Ramaswamy? Like, who knows?
It depends. I don't know. It's hard to say.
That's the question they need to be polling.
Right.
If you could not vote for Trump, would you vote? Yes or no? Right? No. Like that's the poll that needs to be taken right now. I'd be very interested in that.
Right.
You know, because I don't know. I'm worried about Joe. This Israel genocide is. I thought Gen Z was going to save us. Right now, I don't think Gen Z will vote for Joe.
Really?
I don't think Gen Z will vote for Joe if this Israel thing continues.
Who would they vote for?
I don't think they would vote. I don't think they would vote for a president, because if they're not going to vote for Joe on principle Israel, then they wouldn't vote for anybody else.
Right.
So that's scary.
Right.
And I see their point, but we've also been through this a couple times where if you don't vote,
right,
you know what's going to happen then, right?
Right.
We get someone like Trump. But I understand. I get why you're pissed.
Why are they pissed?
because Joe won't condemn Israel's genocide on Palestine.
Oh, yeah.
You know? I know why. Can we get into this for a minute?
Well, we might as well, yeah.
I know why. For one thing, America is a fairly selfish country, and we need allies everywhere. And right now we have 2 allies in the region. We have Turkey and Israel. That's it.
Right.
You know, so we're going to back an ally. But I think the bigger reason is when 9/11 happened, we invaded Afghanistan. A couple years later, invaded Iraq, killed 1 million civilians.
Right. I do remember that.
So we can't then turn around and condemn it.
Right.
You know, because there were other avenues. We didn't have to invade Afghanistan. There were other ways to fight Al-Qaeda, right? I was reading an article from Brown University about this, that the low estimate of civilians is like 400,000 between the 2 wars. We displaced like 38 million people. So when we talk about what Israel's doing, they killed 9,000 civilians. They've displaced about 1.5 million people so far. That's nothing compared to what America did after 9/11.
Right.
So it's really hard for our leaders who were elected at the time, vis-a-vis Joe Biden, to then say, yeah, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't kill civilians just to go after the people who attacked you because now they're hiding with their civilian. Like, you know, it's exactly what Al-Qaeda does. And frankly, I'm sick of that argument that they're human shields. Every fucking country in the world does that. We have Hill Air Force Base in the middle of a neighborhood.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Like, it's not new. It's not a dirty tactic. It's what every country does now. It's a different time than the big world wars where we would line them up.
Right.
You know, but even then, do you know how many civilians we killed in Japan?
Well,
without the nukes, we killed at least 100,000 civilians in Tokyo before the nukes were ever dropped with the firebombs. The firebombing, the napalm of Tokyo. Terrible.
Right.
The pilots could feel the heat.
Ew.
From burning bodies and buildings. It was all wood anyway.
Right.
So this is what Israel's doing is 100% America's MO. So as soon as we realize that, you know, we've done this shit, we're not the good guy, which is what Gen Z is realizing fully, right? It's awful. It's terrible what is happening to Palestinians. They have nothing to do with Hamas, right? They elected Hamas in 2006. We elected Donald Trump. So it's not an excuse. Right? So as long as this continues without any strong condemnation that is more than words, i.e., we're not going to send you $14 billion if you're going to just use it to kill civilians.
Right.
You know, I think he might lose the Gen Z vote. Even though there are, and I would encourage anyone who's Gen Z to please don't do that. There are many more issues on the table, especially domestically,
Right.
that we need a Democrat, a liberal, in office.
I mean, we don't want to turn into Gilead.
Right, which Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, would gladly do.
I know. I love
Right.
everyone calling him out for his. If you want to know how
His Bible
what I
thumping.
believe, I just look at the Bible.
So
and
you
everyone's like, "Oh, okay."
You just sell your daughters into slavery.
Yeah, well, that and I mean, Jesus said to give up all your wealth and
Right.
take care of everybody.
there should be interest-free loans.
So-
yeah, all of the above.
I don't get it, man.
The Bible's full of hypocrisy. We
Freaking-
know that.
Well,
but
the
I am
Republicans and their relationship with the religion is just
Yeah.
hypocrisy on its own, and I don't get it. But
yeah. The only thing that Joe has going for him, this is going to sound really callous, is that the election is kind of far away.
right,
Right. They could wipe Gaza in a number of maybe 2 or 3 more weeks. They've already displaced 75% of the population.
wow,
And they have nowhere to go. They're just wandering the streets because no other country will let them in. They're fenced in.
right,
Not fenced. They're walled in.
mm-hmm.
The only country that has an open, not even a border to them is Egypt.
right.
And Egypt's like, no.
We're good. We got
The
pyramids.
last thing we need, because here's what's happening. Half the population are under the age of 18
there.
in Gaza.
Oh wow.
Half the population are kids. So tell me a more effective way to create Hamas 2.0.
Yeah, that's
So, and Israel knows that. That's why they're doing this. They would rather just fucking kill all 2 million,
Jesus.
right? Because they know this.
Mm-hmm.
They know this. They're committing a genocide right before our eyes, and we're funding it.
We do give a lot of money to Israel, and
They
I
have-
do kind of always wonder, like, why?
I think I could be wrong. You might want to Google this. My computer still won't work. I'm pretty sure they have the 4th largest military, the 4th most powerful military.
Really.
It's
They're not
ma-
that big. I know they have a big.
And I
military.
shouldn't say large, but powerful, right? Things like the Iron Dome that create unbelievable defense. This is why Hamas had to use hang gliders, because no other weapon would work. But I'm sure, I don't know about you, but I've seen analogy after analogy to draw to show what Israel is doing, right? Like a school shooter shoots up a school, goes to another school, and barricades himself in with 200 kids. So the
Right.
response would be to bomb the school.
Yeah, that's
Right? There's a whole litany of analogies you could use to illustrate what Israel is doing is not correct. It's not right. That's before getting into the conspiracy theories that Netanyahu kind of let this happen, like a 9/11 style conspiracy. Like Israel's defense is supposed to be the best ever, and you let a few hundred hang gliders come in. It took the IDF 6 hours to get to this music festival where people were being gunned down. Like, really?
yeah, that does seem kind of.
At least in 9/11 they shut down the airspace. So,
There, Israel's 14th.
14th. I think that all of us would benefit from reading nuance a little bit more, just like always. What Hamas did was terrible.
Their budget isn't even that big, actually.
Well, it's probably hidden.
Their budget is $17 billion.
That's all U.S.
Oh my God. Our budget.
Oh, yeah, no, our
$600 billion.
yeah, it's unbelievable. So, what Hamas
Dude,
did
how
was
is that possible? Russia's the number 2 with $84.5 billion.
America's the largest. You combine the next 10.
Oh, China has 216.
You combine like the next 10 countries, America's still bigger combined.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's I don't know how closely you've been following Israel.
I really haven't been, to be honest.
man. It is.
I know stuff's going on there. I know there's hostages. I know that
So Hamas
started the attack, and then there was retaliation. And I know that
even started
there's
is
been claims of them shooting up civilians, but then some of them have been debunked and some of them haven't, and I don't know.
Yeah, Hamas invaded. I guess invaded is rough. They went in, killed a bunch of people, civilians, took a bunch hostage, right? I even have an article saved where a hostage was released, an old woman, and she's like, they actually treated me very nice. They were very respectful.
What is Hamas's deal with Israel?
Hamas is a terrorist organization.
Right.
They think that Hamas believes that all of Israel belongs to Muslims, to Palestinians.
Oh, okay.
And so Israel needs to back the fuck off. Hamas was elected in 2006, and in response, Israel built a wall around Gaza.
Oh, right. Well.
And cut off everything, blockaded them.
Oh, apparently
50%.
they still give them electricity and stuff.
Well, they cut it off when it's convenient, though.
Yeah, no, I know that.
50% unemployment. Here's one. This is a story that's like, wow, this isn't echoes from the Holocaust at all. Something like 10,000 Palestinians have work passes to leave Gaza daily or weekly to go work in Israel. Okay. When this broke out, all the gates were shut. There was no movement either way. So Israel rounded up these 10,000 workers and put ID tags on their ankles. No, I mean, if you can't immediately right, if you can't immediately draw ID tags to Star of David on your shoulder,
right?
You know,
right.
It's unbelievable. So then they find.
Hey, are you just mad because the Jews have the upper hand this time?
You're
looking a little Hitlery over there.
Yeah, Unfortunately, this conflict has deep roots in religion, but now what we're seeing is Gazan civilians being bombed in refugee camps and hospitals under the guise of you have bad guys hiding among you.
Well, what would you do? What do you do? I don't know. Do you just let the bad guys be and just bulk up your iron shield?
Well, the Iron Dome will certainly, it's like 99% effective when it comes to rockets.
Not kites or whatever they use.
They used hang gliders with men, right? Like these men were parachuting in over the border. It's the only way to get past the wall.
So,
which begs
the
the
Iron
question.
Dome can shoot down rockets, but not
right. But it does beg a lot of questions. Like, how did this? You guys didn't know. You didn't see like
just fired a 50 cal machine gun at the.
Right. There's a lot of questions to be asked, but I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, but it's sure as shit isn't bombing hospitals and schools and refugee camps.
What has the response of the Israelis populace been? Have we heard anything about that? What are they thinking?
It's mixed.
I mean, because like when Russia invaded Ukraine, there's a pretty big divergence of people that were like, we probably shouldn't do this.
Yeah, no, there are definitely. So there's a lot of nuance. Right. There are Israelis who have been brainwashed to believe that Palestinians aren't human. Right. I don't know if you know. Do you understand the map of Israel in the West Bank? The West Bank has nothing to do with Gaza. Israelis are killing people in the West Bank because of this conflict.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Right. Hamas has no influence in the West Bank. So. Look, man, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. But I do know if you have the 14th largest military, you could probably engage in a ground assault rather than just... I mean,
Well, look how that's worked for Russia.
There's been pictures of of white phosphorus, which is a war crime. So...
Really?
Yeah. It's awful. It's terrible. And I don't... So right now, the international, it's a pretty weak call, but there is a call for a ceasefire.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Netanyahu has unequivocally said no. Not a chance. Not a chance until they...
Netanyahu get back in power, my goodness.
Not a chance until they release all of the Israeli hostages.
No. There's still some left? I thought they killed a bunch of them.
No. Well, I don't know if there's been any proof of life, but Hamas captured, I think, like... 200, 300 hostages. And they've released a few older women. So it's ugly. It's ugly.
So we've got World War III brewing over in
Yeah, because now
Europe.
you have Iran straight up threatened the United States at the UN.
Yeah, but didn't the United States say, all right,
Well,
maybe
it's not unlike
settle
Iran.
down, Iran.
Iran has always threatened the United
you and
States.
you and your F-4. I know the F-14, made a pretty solid effort in Top Gun 2, but I don't think you're going to have that because they're the only country that has F-14s.
Right.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Iran?
Yeah.
Because we gave them to them.
Yeah. So you have Iran making that threat. You have Israel has diplomatically made a lot of advances of late.
Mm-hmm.
They've made friends with Saudi Arabia, and there was another kind of bigger country. But on the northern end of Israel, you've got problems with Lebanon,
right?
Hezbollah right there that would love to nothing more than to destroy Israel. You've got Jordan right there. So no, it's a powder keg, man.
Freaking religion, man.
Yeah. It's definitely a powder keg.
Like, why? It's so dumb.
But who gets stuck in the middle is 1 million children.
Yeah.
1 million children.
It's dumb.
In an area that's about twice the size of D.C. It's small. It's packed.
So, like, Salt Lake, I don't know how big D.C. is.
It's bigger than Salt
Can you
Lake.
make a comparison that's not just twice as big as something? Surely there's something equally as big in the United States as there is to Gaza.
Yeah, it's D.C. That's the
two DCs.
That's the
not the D.C. in the greater metropolitan area.
That's just the best. You just need to know that it's small. It's a very small area.
That's what I said to my.
So, yeah. So anyway, back to the original. That I worry about Joe there.
Anyway,
because I mean, speaking of okay, we want to move on to this anti-theist.
Yeah.
So Ashley asked me a question the other day.
Okay.
She said, "Would you consider yourself an anti-theist?" And I had never heard that word before, but I mean, it's obviously got a pretty straightforward definition.
Right.
And I was like, "No, I'm not opposed to the idea of God.
Uh-huh.
If there is a God, then he's certainly either one of two things. He's either not all-powerful or he's not all-loving."
Right.
It's the Neil deGrasse Tyson concept.
Right.
So no, I'm not opposed to the idea of God. I just have no evidence.
One.
I
mean, I've always thought if there is, it's not the way that religious people see it.
No, it's not like
it can't be
a dude with a body.
Right. I mean, because they'll always be like, well, look at all the miracles. I'm like, well, for every miracle, there's like 10 horrible tragedies.
No, for sure. I mean, back in my praying days, if my success rate for prayer was any indication, like
I haven't won the lottery once.
The fact that that we continue to pray,
right,
with the lack of success is alarming, right? So,
dear God, can you please,
for the 1,000th time, it's like trying to get my kid
pay the electric bill this year. Everyone.
It's like trying to get my daughter to put her bowl in the sink. So anyway, I mean, I guess that was about it then. Well, I guess I wanted to ask you: are you an anti-theist? Are you opposed to the idea of God?
No. Like I said, no.
If I had any evidence of God, I'd be like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, there's a God."
Agnostic is more my speed. I'm open to whatever. I'm open to a lot of things. I'm open to simulations. I'm open to there being nothing. I'm open to.
I mean, honestly,
I'm open to the idea that the Christians are right. Like maybe, I don't know.
If you were to make a side-by-side like chart of the features of the Judeo-Christian God or story idea and simulation, they're very similar.
Oh, no, they're completely the same.
Yeah.
it's the same thing. It's
right.
not.
You just believe that the admin.
That's why I always think it's funny that they'll be like, "You believe in a simulation?" Like religious people. What do you?
Right.
What do you believe in?
So do you.
I believe that God created this thing,
right.
and He's watching it and playing us like a game,
I believe that He can plant grass in
right.
little perfect squares.
It's basically like Sim City, but God.
But God is the.
simulation is bullcrap.
That's bullshit, man. That's crazy. That's crazy talk.
Look, I'm even open to Scientology.
I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot.
Well, not Thanos.
I just don't have the money. If I had the money to go clear, you better bet your ass I'd go clear.
I just need to get my thetans checked, my thetan level.
Right. Okay, U.S. Space Force creates its first unit dedicated to targeting adversary satellites. Okay?
Okay.
I have a general rule, or I don't know, a rule, just a perception that if you include a depiction of evil or death in your official insignia, you are not on the right side of history. Right? Like, Nazis had the skull and crossbones. I'm not talking about you want to paint it on your plane or your tank.
Right.
I'm talking the official insignia.
Your main logo of the 75th Intelligence, Surveillance, and Reconnaissance
It
is death.
It's a delta with the Grim Reaper with a delta for a nose.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
And
That's like the Space Force delta.
Yeah, they did it on purpose. You can read about it in this
smart.
article. So just, Google 75th Intelligence Squadron Space Force, and you'll see their insignia is the Grim Reaper.
Did they say why the background is like scaly?
I didn't even notice
Like the back of a dragon or something.
We are the back of a dragon. Let's see. Targeting him today is a monumental time in the history of our service. Meaning the last 2 years.
Yeah, I know.
The Delta represents historic ties to the earliest days of the U.S. Air Force space community, as well as variations of space vehicles. I don't see anything about the scaly background. It does look like dragon scales. But anyway, I just have a general rule. If I were like in the Joint Chiefs, I'd be like, listen, guys, I just have one rule. No depiction of death or hell or evil.
I feel like this isn't that uncommon, though.
No, it's more like a Brian rule.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Anytime I watch like a World War II doc and I see the skull and crossbones on a Nazi's hat, I'm like, motherfucker. How do you not know you're on the wrong side, man?
It's true. It's true. I bet there's a ton of them in the Air Force.
Yeah.
Actually, I bet there's a ton of them in all of them. There's a bee. What about a samurai?
Samurai's okay, other than it's kind of appropriation. Unless it was like an all Japanese unit in the, you know.
I bet there's a lot of them. I don't know. Yeah, I get it. It's kind of a weird logo for something that's just gonna shoot down satellites.
Yeah.
It's like we're gonna Grim Reaper those satellites.
Yeah.
Yeah. But whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I guess I don't know.
I wonder how much they paid somebody to do that.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
$5? $10?
That's got to be a couple million.
I hope not.
Couple
I mean,
million
it's
for
fine.
sure.
It's fine. It looks like something I would
No
do.
originality,
I don't know what people get paid to do.
Can you just make sure the Delta is in like 7 places? Because that's the only thing that we have for space.
And we ripped it off of Star Trek.
Right.
Bastards.
Do you think one should be allowed legally, ethically even, to sell body parts?
I thought you were going to say something else. And
first of all, what did you think I was going to say?
I don't want to say. I don't want to say. I feel like I don't want to drive more people away from.
People are teetering right now. They're like, man, fuck these guys.
Should you be allowed to sell body parts?
Yeah. Like, you're down on your luck.
And you want to sell an ear or something?
Yeah, or kidney. One of these organs we got 2 of.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I would do it for like $1 million.
Right.
Or $100,000. Get out of debt, sell a kidney.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Are you not allowed to do that?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I guess I haven't looked. Well, I mean, I assume there's a black market, so that's probably why it's not legal, right?
Of course.
Well, I shouldn't say why it's not. If it's not legal, there's definitely a black market. If it was legal, you'd have to pay taxes and shit.
Wait, have you ever Googled it?
No. I just put it in the rundown.
Did you? Did you just come up with this right now?
No, it's been in there a while. I was having a moment one day thinking about it, like, sell a kidney. I think I was thinking, like, I wouldn't mind helping someone live by giving them my kidney, right? I am on the bone marrow list thing, you know, the database.
Yeah.
I think maybe I got a letter from them, and that started this train of thought.
Right.
You know, like I can give my bone marrow to someone. Could I give them my kidney? And then it was like, well, can I benefit from this at all? Can I?
You can't. The National Organ Transplant Act, enacted in 1984, disallows either the sale or purchase of human organs. Doing so can be punished by as much as 5 years in prison and a fine of $50,000.
Oh, that's worth it, man. You sell a kidney for $1 million, you go to jail for 5 years.
I don't know.
Pay a small fine. But why is it though?
Oh, there is a page that says how to sell body parts legally, 9 ways.
I mean,
you can sell hair and stool.
I can. Yeah,
and
stool.
Eggs. You can sell eggs.
Dude, stool you can actually make a lot of money
I've
on.
I've heard Ethan's told us all about it. I don't know why we're not all selling our poop because
Well, I'm
you
on
have to be like healthy or
Yeah, I'm on too many meds.
You could sell your hair, eggs. You can sell your uterus, apparently. Oh, it's you rent it.
You rent it.
Out.
You lease it for 9
You can
months.
sell boob milk.
Boob milk.
Sorry, breast milk. Plasma, bone marrow.
Yeah, why do they draw the line?
I don't know. I guess.
What you need is an organization that works with insurance companies, right?
There you
like,
go.
I'll give this guy $1 million.
We definitely want to get insurance companies involved.
It's the only way to lobby Congress, right? It's the only way. So, insurance company buys it for $1 million. They charge the patient $10 million. And you know, that's it. That's capitalism.
Yeah, it is.
That's how it's done.
It really is.
Okay, here's something that's taken place since we've not been on the show.
Okay.
Sound of Freedom. And
we didn't talk about Sound of Freedom? I swear we did.
I don't know, but this story that I put in the rundown, definitely we didn't talk about.
Okay.
If you're not familiar, Tim Ballard started an organization called Operation Underground Railroad that ostensibly was saving children from sex trafficking.
Right.
Mostly in South America and Mexico. He has come under ridiculous scrutiny lately.
Oh, yeah.
He's kind of a piece of shit.
Oh, he is for sure.
Right? So this story, though, maybe I should just pose it a different way to you. Pretend for a second that you work for Operation Underground Railroad as an undercover.
Done.
Okay?
Think about it all the time.
You want to pretend to be a man in search of children. Okay?
Pretend, right.
Yes. So as to capture the person selling.
Right.
Right. You with me so far?
Yeah, I've watched a lot of SVU.
This is
I know
fake.
how this
This
works.
is fake,
okay?
though. Now, you and a partner who's also a Confederate, an undercover.
Confederate?
It's someone who's in on something. Yeah. Just bear with me. You're meeting a guy who's going to sell you children.
Okay.
You're in like a lobby of a dank apartment building.
Okay.
And man approaches you. Nice to meet you. I'd like to buy some children. Okay?
Okay.
Man produces a child, a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Says, what about this one? Feel these boobs. Lifts up teenager's shirt and tells you to feel the boobs of this teenager.
Okay.
Would you do it? To maintain cover for whatever reason. Would you feel
I feel like
the
I'm gonna
teenagers
get canceled. Whatever my answer is.
No. I'm just asking.
I don't know.
Okay, so this happened in real life.
Okay.
Okay. Guy's wearing a hidden camera.
Okay.
And he feels
Mm-hmm.
with both hands
Oh.
Okay? And then goes...
You never go two hands.
No. You go back of hand.
Yep. Yep.
This man then goes back to headquarters and on tape still says, I don't think I should have done that. We're going to need to remove that part of the tape.
Right.
So Tim Ballard and crew are being investigated by the Davis County prosecutor, who watched said video and typed out kind of a transcript, which has been made public.
Right.
The person who did this, Paul Hutchinson, who's also an executive producer of the movie Sound of Freedom.
Obviously.
I think this was him. Yeah, in 2016. Someone asked him about it. He's like, no. The federal police in Mexico signed an affidavit saying she was 18.
That doesn't
change
doesn't
anything.
make anything any better there, sir.
Doesn't change anything. But that was his reasoning. Didn't deny it because it's on video.
But how did he know that at the time?
He didn't, because when I left a part out, which is when he went back to HQ, he told someone in charge, I can't remember if it was Tim or not, but basically said, I don't want to go to Mexico jail for touching this
Right.
teenager.
Right.
You know, so they go and tell the police, and the police are like, oh, we'll just say she's 18.
Ah.
I don't exactly know if that's how the conversation went, but they did sign an official document in Mexico saying she was 18. Now, obviously, he hasn't committed a crime in the United States.
Right.
But these are the people that are doing these.
This is Underground Railroad.
Yeah.
This is the great work they're doing.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact that many NGOs and government organizations have said, we appreciate you, but when you pretend to be someone looking for children, you are then incentivizing them to go kidnap children.
Right.
To give to you. So you're making the problem a little bit bigger.
You're creating the market.
Right.
In fact, there's
no sex trafficking.
There is no sex trafficking. It's just undercover people trying to save children. It's kind of this wicked loop.
Every single child you've saved was kidnapped because of you. Oh, man. Anyway, that's just one of the many stories of how Operation Underground Railroad operates. Obviously, Tim Ballard has been kicked out of this company now because of all these other... because he had allegations of making people sleep with him. Let's say a woman came on board and was like, I want to help.
Right.
And he's like, hey, you got to pretend to be my wife, and we're looking for kids. So in order to sell the ruse, we got to really get into it, Like, we got to fuck and take showers and stuff. So a bunch of women will come forward saying that Tim made him do that.
That's so stupid.
It's unbelievable.
I don't have any comment. I'm gonna get myself into trouble. But that's really dumb. That's just really stupid.
Yeah.
All around.
All around.
All of those people are
all
stupid.
around. The whole thing is it's a cult.
Obviously.
It's a cult. So oh man.
Freaking
anyway.
Colts.
Yeah. That
well,
that was all the links I had in there.
I think we should take a break and then do random headlines, I guess.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Here we go. When we come back, do we have anything else besides random headlines?
Oh, I think I have a gotcha headline.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I still don't have a sounder for that, but that's okay. All that and not more when we come back.
New shirt, Cleveland?
Donna saw an unflattering picture of me on Facebook and only lets me wear black now.
Was the picture that bad?
It was the worst thing I would ever want to see myself be. Problem with these dark shirts is the dandruff shows, but when I wear light colors...
The dandruff doesn't show, but you look bigger in the shirt. Yeah, it's called Guillermo's paradox.
What's that now?
Guillermo del Toro theorized that a fat man's shirt cannot simultaneously appear slimming and clean.
That boy does look like he be getting dry.
This is the Our Take Podcast. We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you these random headlines.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind being an asshole. Oh. Sorry, everybody. We're back, and we got some random headlines.
Not a lot of good ones today, except for
Hey. They're random. You get what you get.
No, this is, a Georgia man.
Ooh, that's not Florida. That's not Florida.
Pretty damn
It's close. It's close.
Although Georgia did go to Biden, didn't it?
Did it?
Yeah. Didn't it?
If it did, it was barely.
Yeah, it did.
Yes, it did.
And
yes, it
remember,
did.
'cause he
And they
wanted
tried.
to-
That's where the election. That's why
where
he's
the
going to go
cases,
to. He's
yeah.
going to go to jail there.
Yeah, hopefully. Georgia. Oh, sorry. This is the country, Georgia. No, it's not. I'm just joking. It's not. It's not. A Georgian man is attempting to set a Guinness World Record title after harvesting 186 pounds of sweet potatoes from a single plant.
Wow.
That's actually less impressive than I.
I mean, couldn't you kind of cheat? Like they're in the ground. He's like, yeah, it's from the same plant as he's pulling up like.
Well, maybe that's why this hasn't confirmed, because the headline is 186 pounds sweet potato harvest might be a world record.
I guess if you had them all attached still, to the same same bush. Then
How would you? I don't know. That's probably why Guinness is like, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, Doug, go out there and fucking count them.
The weather conditions were really good this year for growing potatoes, Anderson told WMAZ-TV. Guinness World Records rules for the heaviest sweet potato record. Who wrote these? Like, is there a guy that's like writing rules in the back? Like, hey, John, we need a rule for sweet potatoes. Can you get on that? Guinness World Record rules for the heaviest sweet potato record involve weighing all of the tubers from a single root system. The current record of 81 pounds and 9 ounces was set by Manuel Perez of Spain in 2004.
We do know they make rules because they wouldn't award the LED
toilets, which is still
that's amazing. That's a
disturbing.
way better record than this one.
Right.
Yeah. No one gives a fuck about sweet potatoes.
I mean, lit up porta potties? Are you kidding me?
Can you imagine if he was like our one fan in Georgia? He's like, what the fuck, guys?
What? I was hoping they'd talk about this, and they're over here dogging on me. Anderson's haul was taken to a certified scale where the total weight was determined to be 184 pounds. Evidence from the harvest and weighing has been submitted to Guinness for official certification, but the farmer doesn't expect to hear back for several months. What are they?
I want my sweet potatoes, though.
So they're just going to let that
what was
that
the
whole
original
crop of potatoes die?
I don't know. What was the original haul? What was the headline?
186.
But this is saying 184. Well, you got caught cheating.
It's still over 100 pounds, 102 pounds.
But just out of principle, we got to DQ you because you cheated. You added 2 pounds, man.
Oh, don't worry. A large portion of the crop will be donated to his church.
Oh, maybe they just need to weigh it and then he can take it.
Yeah.
They're not going to weigh it and be like, you got to keep it in a warehouse. Yeah.
Microscopes and
yeah.
They're like rebuilding it like they do like TWA Flight 800,
Yeah,
They're in a huge warehouse reconstructing this plant. Like, I don't think that this tube came from this.
Clearly not.
Plant.
It's been grafted.
It's been grafted and someone used some super glue. This isn't correct.
Right.
Sorry, sir. You don't have the record that no one cares about.
Yep.
Wow, I sound a little jaded about that, don't I?
I mean, maybe if we had a record of our own,
I just closed my next story on accident.
Reopen window.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a way to do that. I do that when I think
there is.
When I think I hear the door open, so
There
I hurry
is.
and close my window.
Private browsing.
That's true.
Use your phone. You
With
have to
the privacy screen.
with the new have you seen this? With the new update?
Yeah.
When you go into private browsing?
Yeah.
Okay. And
if you close it, it opens back up into normal?
No.
Oh.
No, even better. If you close it, and
Yeah.
reopen
You swipe
it,
up.
you got to have your face.
You got to have your face.
Yeah.
So if your wife shows you the phone, you just close your eyes really fast.
Yeah.
No.
Florida man cited. A Florida driver was issued a citation when sheriff's deputies determined his truck labeled Booty Patrol too closely resembled a Border Patrol vehicle. And it does. It looks exactly like a Border Patrol vehicle, but it says Booty Patrol.
That's like the female body inspector.
Right. The DeSoto County Sheriff's Office said that the white Chevy Silverado, which bears a green stripe on the side and the word Booty Patrol on the back, had been spotted in several counties. So this guy's getting around.
He's like, I just went to Lowe's.
The driver was cited under a law banning vehicles from having red and blue lights that too closely resemble the lights on law enforcement vehicles. Comments underneath the Sheriff's Office Facebook post indicate the truck is a show vehicle, and the lights were only ever used in filming of a music video. I want to find this music video.
Yeah, dude.
And
Booty Patrol.
It doesn't give us the freaking... It doesn't give us the music video.
Ah, it's dirty. They played him. He's like, I went to all this trouble to get pulled over.
There's no like end to this story. Like that, what ended up happening? That's it.
That's it. They shot him. In an unrelated story.
He was white, so that wasn't really an issue. This story's from Utah, and perhaps you've heard it already. My computer is dragging. I might need to get a new one.
It's pretty old. Pretty
really old.
Maybe you sell one of these 10 guitars. You get yourself a computer that
These
works.
guitars are worthless. In fact,
invaluable is the word.
In fact, when I got this one, that pickup added and got it set up.
Yeah.
Because it cost like $100 some odd to get the setup done. Oh, I had to get the nut changed too, so it was like $160. The guy was there he's like, I actually have to have you pay up front for this because whenever the work is worth more than the guitar, and I want to be like, hey, fuck you, bro. You don't know. This is an American-made Peavey, 1992.
That's a Hendrix.
Okay?
Hendrix played that.
Could be.
At Woodstock.
Pole dancing skeletons raised controversy in Utah.
Oh, of course they did.
A Utah man's pole dancing skeleton display that ran afoul of local authorities for using a street sign has been moved to private property where it is steadily growing. So Christopher Fujishin put up a Halloween display next to the road outside of his Grantsville home a few days ago featuring a purple-wigged skeleton doing a pole dance. And I got to say,
it's a hot skeleton.
That turns me on.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Bones, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Bones.
Yep. You're like, see those bones right there? That's where the boobs would be.
So instead of it backfired on the city, he's like, fine, I'll take that one down, and went and bought 10 more.
It sounds like it. City officials said in a Facebook post that the display violated city code by using the street sign for its dancing pole. Okay, fine. The post, which has since been deleted, said the owner of the decorations had until 9 p.m. to take them down or they would be confiscated. I bet the city was really bummed they couldn't confiscate those.
Yeah.
Fuji Shin moved the skeleton to his yard, and local residents who saw the city's viral post started coming by to add their own decorations to the display. Which now includes lights and music. I hope it's like guitar, like
yeah, bow, bow, some wah. Yeah.
We look forward to keeping this going and getting a little more elaborate as we go. And next year, it's actually going to be full on strippers.
He's going to pay
no
people.
skeletons.
Yeah.
He admitted the display is maybe a little risque for some, but it's all in the name of fun, I guess. I mean, it's not scary.
No.
The homeowner brushed aside criticism that the skeleton pole dancer is inappropriate for children because they're not even going to know what it is, and it's not sexy in any way. So if your kids understand what it is, maybe the problem's not the skeleton on the dancing pole. Maybe it's something else.
Yeah, for real.
Have we talked about like how I want to do a haunted house, but I want to make it like a real life haunted house?
Like people die?
Like you turn a corner and someone's like, unplanned pregnancy or IRS audit. Job loss.
Yeah. That's not bad. That's not bad. Cop pulling you over.
Yeah. DUI.
It just creates insane amounts of anxiety.
All right. One more story here, and I need to play something.
Oh, yes.
Escaped pigs wreaking havoc on Connecticut neighbor's lawn.
I long for swine news.
It's been a while.
Yeah, makes me happy.
Residents of a Connecticut town said a drove of pigs that escaped from a nearby farm have been destroying their lawn and gardens for weeks. Michael Grenner of Sterling said he first spotted the black mule-foot pigs. Why do they got to bring race into this? Outside of his house September 30th, and on subsequent visits, he has spotted up to 22 of them. The animals are tearing up his lawn. You don't even have that nice of a lawn anyway, bro.
Well, not now.
Okay, this is. He said the pigs have caused $23,000 worth of damage. Sod is like $1 a foot. Like
it's expensive, but not 23 grand. Oh man! By the way, I double checked. A group of pigs is called a drove.
A drove of pigs.
Yes, or a drift.
A drift. Apparently, he isn't the only home that has been visited by the destructive swine. The pigs escaped from the nearby Radical Roots farm. Oh, they're radical.
Radical.
So they're liberal pigs. That's why they don't
yeah,
like
yeah.
it. Grenner said the owner has not attempted to make any amends for the damage. I don't know of any instance that has that he has accepted responsibility. It's always someone else's fault. Well, it's the pig's fault.
It's the pig's fault.
If someone's cut my fence, someone was shooting my animals, somebody left my... Wait. If someone cut my fence, someone was shooting my animals, somebody left my gate open.
What's this guy talking about?
I don't know.
It's just blathering.
Yeah. A post on the farm's Facebook page states, if anyone sees the pigs that are out, please contact us directly. We cannot successfully retrieve them or get them home if everyone sends their dog out or chases them away. Well, that seems fair.
That is. I mean, yeah.
I mean, they're just being pigs.
They're just being pigs.
They're just out there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Speaking of things just being things, remember how I had black widows?
Yeah.
I had so many.
Yeah.
Way more than I thought.
Then you refused to kill them because you're.
I did. I didn't want to kill them because they were just being spiders. But my girlfriend has been bringing her dog around, and I'm like, I probably should get rid of these spiders. And one morning I walked out when it was cold, or when it first started getting cold. There's just like 15 frozen spiders. They're just like, they're not moving.
Yeah.
Right? And then, but what's scary is as the day warms up, they still disappear. They go back. So I was like, all right, Dad, I'm a millennial. Daddy.
It's cryogenics, man.
Will you come kill these spiders? And he came and sprayed my house, and there were so many dead black widows.
That's crazy.
All over the place. They were everywhere.
You're going to get a citation from the city for harboring
black widow?
Yeah. No, I wasn't.
For harboring what, Brian? Because if you say white widows, then that might be,
It's like an old lady.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly.
How come when you think of a white widow, you think of an old lady, but when you think of a black widow, you think of a destructive spider?
Let's move on. Let's move on. Is it time for a gotcha headline?
Yeah, I don't have a good sounder, so I'm just going to play Joe Biden saying...
Look, listen.
Oh, no,
listen,
it's Peter,
look,
not
listen,
Joe Biden.
Look, listen.
So, yeah, this is where I find a headline in the news that...
And your kids died, too.
that is clearly trying to reel you in.
Right.
Okay. This is from September 6th.
1999?
2023.
I don't know why I said that. I apologize.
This is the headline. Unruly fans singing Nazi songs and interrupting play with shouts cause problems at U.S. Open. Okay. So I dig in. I'm like, they're drunk. This is unacceptable behavior, though.
Well, I know when I get drunk, I always turn into a Nazi.
Yeah, I love singing Nazi.
Otherwise, I'm totally like, left wing and everything, but just something about
tennis.
Something about a Budweiser from Anheuser-Busch.
So I read the article. Turns out it was one drunk dude who yelled one Nazi slogan.
So it was one drunk dude that was like Heil Hitler, and all of a sudden it's all the fans at the U.S. Open are Nazis. All golf fans worship Satan and Hitler. We're all doomed.
Yeah. Alexander Zverev felt he had to react when he heard a fan use language from Adolf Hitler's Nazi regime during his U.S. Open match.
What did he say?
I can't. I found it. It's not even in this article.
Could it just be like...
No, it was something like...
Jews
man.
will not replace us, or I don't know. What was a Hitler saying?
I don't even know. Wasn't there one that was like blood in the soil or
Probably.
Anyway, it was something along those lines, you know? I'm like, yeah, that guy's a piece of shit. But this headline, unruly fans singing Nazi songs.
What? Who is this? What news?
This is the Associated
Press?
Yeah. His name is Brian Mahoney, who wrote this article.
Settle down, Brian Mahoney.
Yeah.
Settle down.
Anyway, that's your gotcha headline.
My gosh. What a douche.
Yeah.
You know, douchebags all around. My goodness. I just saw some lighter news.
Yes.
Just to liven things up.
Yeah.
Cigarette lighter is cause of laundromat fire.
Wait a second, though.
Huh.
I'm interested.
Oh, I already closed the
Was
story.
it tumbling in the dryer and it flicked itself?
Probably.
Can you imagine? It'd be terrifying.
Right.
You see flames in the dryer?
We want to try it right now.
That's going to be the new ad on some lighters. Laundry safe.
Laundry safe.
We've tested this in a million different dryers.
Oh, where did the story go? It was back in April, so it's a pretty old story. Oh, man. Laundromat. Oh, it's from Sky. Oh, it's in Australia.
Yeah,
they
turn the other direction down there, so.
Oh, it's a Spanish laundromat? Wait, I'm confused.
They have Spanish people in Australia.
I know, but is it like Spanish? Like from Spain?
Mm.
Or
I
is
don't
it
know.
Spanish speaking?
I don't know.
Also, there's no story. It's just
All I know is that you can never go back to Australia because you have a warrant.
I don't know that I have a warrant.
How many times have you done a load of washing or chucked them in the dryer and you realise you've left a bunch of tissues in the pocket of your shorts or the
Well,
jeans?
to be fair, I do that. I do that pretty much every load.
Footage from a laundromat in Spain. Someone left a cigarette lighter
in
Spain. Oh, there's footage.
In the dryer.
Oh shit!
Blew the shop front out.
It does. It blows it up. The door. And what's weird?
You hear that guy laughing in the back?
I know. What's weird is the door. The door to the dryer opens like a ghost opened it. Like,
Yeah.
And then the explosion happens.
All that oxygen rushes in.
Boop, boom.
So as a laundromat in Spain being reported on by an Australian
Skynet, Sky News. Sky News, not Skynet yet. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Oh man. Well,
Oh.
we were gonna have a show and then it just got canceled, so we won't tell you about it.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll. We've never done a live podcast. Someday.
How
we'll
do you do it? Just like on TikTok?
No, like a venue style. You know,
That'd be interesting.
It'd be interesting.
We could just
Anyway.
invite people into my room.
That's true. Into our
You
studio.
guys just sit on the bed over there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to be getting soon is a new bed. What size bed do you have?
King.
Yeah.
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 I don't know how I...
What you got?
Queen.
As a queen. Yeah, king
I don't
is
know
where
how
it's at.
people... I don't know how people...
Well, we had a queen for... it was until Quinn was born. We had a queen until then.
Yeah.
So from 2009 to 2016.
I just...
and then you get
I don't know
a king.
how I did it for
Yeah.
3 or 4
No,
years.
especially when you get a king and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's the
know.
best.
Anyway, I guess that's
it. Yeah. Thanks
Yeah.
for joining us, everybody.
Thought we were going to be longer. We only did 2 hours.
I told you it's just kind of where we naturally fall.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Well, check out our band Rejected Takeoff on all streaming platforms. This is one of our songs here that you're listening to.
It's true.
You can find the podcast at the Our Take Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. For episode 141, I'm Brian.
I'm Spencer. See you next time.